Today I'm going to be talking about the R&D tax credit scheme from HM Revenue and Customs. Really generous scheme, 3.7 billion given back to UK businesses. SMEs can claim anywhere between 20 to 33%, depending if they're profit making or loss making, and large businesses can claim around 10% net. It's very generous. So £100,000 worth of cost, an SME can get somewhere between 20,000, or in cash they can get up to 33,000 if they're loss making. But we'll cover that at a later stage. Now what we're going to focus on today is the cost that you can claim. We've already covered off the technical aspects of a claim, which is the number one criteria and most important. But once you've got past that, then number two is about the cost that you can claim. Now, what I would point you to as well, we have a great calculator over on our website. So there'll be a link here on this video, and if you put your costs in, you'll be able to determine how much money you're due back. It gives you a rough estimate. Give us a call if you want to find out, a more accurate number. Our specialist team can help you go through your cost base and etc. and give you a much closer estimate. But anyway, today we're going to focus on the cost that you can claim. The first area is staff wages. So then we've got agency, subcontract, software and consumables. The thing to say here, it's costs that go through your entities. You've got to go through your profit and loss. You can claim some stuff that goes through intangible assets, but once again, that is something we'll deal with. It's very technical and specialist, but we're going to focus. It goes through the P&L. So staff wages, you've got gross pay, you've got national insurance, company contributions, you've got pension, company contributions. Benefits in kind is a no-no, keep away from those. However, reimbursed employee expenses, that is a great opportunity there. If an individual is paying for the expenses and you as a company reimburse them, so they've incurred the cost, then you can claim those costs relating to R&D activities. In terms of the staff team, it's not just the engineers, the people in white lab coats. Don't forget you've got your management team, you've got your project management, you've got your supervisors, you've got your people that indirectly support the R&D process. That could be finance, HR, logistics, procurement. So the R&D team is much wider than what you think. So that's certainly a little bit of a tip there. Agency staff, okay, agency staff, these are people that work in, employed by an agency and you get invoiced. You can claim for agency staff if they are not connected to your business, which we'll come to a little bit later, then you are restricted to 65% of that invoice value, and then you've got to portion that to the R&D activity. People always ask me about time records for staff. Ideally, absolutely keep time records, but for early year claims, you can use really good estimates, but it's got to come from somebody that is managing the team, understands the activities that have been undertaken. But I would strongly recommend keep time records, put them in place as soon as possible. Keep it simple, nothing complex. You don't need to put in a time recording system. Spreadsheets are fine, calendar notes, absolutely. Then we go on to subcontractors. So subcontractors, these are people that you go and engage with to do a set piece of work for you. Yes, you can include those. Those contractors, as well as some of the staff wages, can be based anywhere in the world, which is extremely important. Makes the UK scheme really generous as well, as long as those costs are charged back to the UK entity. So your subcontractors could be based overseas, but the costs got to come back through the UK and you can claim. Once again, for unconnected subcontractors, there's a 65% restriction on the invoice value. Now we're going to talk about software. So software licenses. So this is not software you've developed internally. These are software licenses that are used for tools to do the development activities. It could be CAD software. It could be project management software. A lot of the software businesses that we deal with will have invoices from people like AWS, Microsoft Azure. What I would say to them is that hosting costs, domain registration, etc., storage is a no-no. However, look at the invoices on the software, particularly from AWS and Microsoft Azure. Go through those, you will identify a lot of analytics, a lot of software, a lot of tools, those areas you can claim. So I look at the invoice, it's all itemized, you claim the relevant areas, but absolutely a no-no for hosting and storage costs. And then we have another category, consumable items. So consumable items could be materials, so things that are transformed in the development process. Consumable items could also be small parts, components that you're purchasing to make into a much larger item component. It's got to be transformed, so consumed or transformed. If you're making or doing some trials and you're selling those trials, you have to deduct the sale value from the cost. That's extremely important. If you receive an income, that must be deducted from the cost of producing that consumable item. So they're the key areas I've just gone through in terms of the costs that you can claim. I will touch on connected and unconnected agency staff and subcontractors in another video. It's a very complex area. It's all about control of an organisation and if it's connected within a group, etc. But I'll cover that separately. It's a little bit technical. As I said, once you get a good idea of what your costs are, don't forget your team's much wider than what you think and what the guidance indicates from HM Revenue and Customs. What I would suggest is go across to our website. As I said, his link again here. It's a really great tax calculator that we have for R&D tax. It doesn't cost anything. If you have any questions, once again, feel free to reach out. I'm just going to bring up my details so you can see it. So I'm Barrie Dowsett, CEO of Myriad. It's barrie.dowsett is my email at myriadassociates.com. That's my telephone number. Feel free to reach out or give us a call. My team of specialists that we have who deal with this day in, day out, I'm sure they can help you. Anyway, nice speaking to you, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you.